Good afternoon. On today's news broadcast, a potential gunman, more missiles from North Korea, and a swole Santa. Plus local sports, weather, and more. APSU-TV News starts right now. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Crosslin.
And I'm LeJeune.
Austin Peay sent out an alert last night to all the students about an unconfirmed report of a man with a handgun. Reportedly, he was in the Burt parking lot by the Marks building. The school was on lockdown at 6 o'clock for over an hour. Harnett Hall was evacuated and searched with pat-downs being issued to every student leaving the building. The suspect has not been taken into custody. The school was all clear around 8 o'clock. Campus police want to remind you to report any suspicious activity at 931-221-7786.
Police in Washington State responded to a bizarre scene. This past Saturday, they received a report of a man parking his SUV in the middle of an intersection and waving around a rifle and handgun. He rambled to responding to police about lizard people. They detained him and found a cache of weapons in his car, a loaded AK-47 style rifle, a loaded Ruger .357 revolver, 5 loaded magazines, and a wooden bat, and 170 pounds of ammunition. Police had to tase him twice to get him to comply. Police say he told them that he took meth to lose weight and was taking prescription morphine. He told them President Trump called him at his home and warned him about lizard people, as well as the alpha dragon that was holding his family hostage. Authorities say the 54-year-old man was heavily influenced by a stimulant and was taken to a hospital for a 14-day mental health evaluation.
3 men came to the rescue in Scottsburg, Indiana, after a car crashed and quickly caught fire. As CNN's Stefan Johnson reports, the Good Samaritans worked together to get the victims to safety just in time.
This is all that's left of the car after that driver lost control and went down a hill. And by the time help arrived, the driver was still sitting right here in the front seat of a burning car with his seatbelt fastened.
The first thing I saw was like a smoke cloud.
Brandon Watson was one of the first people on the scene.
I was doing a scene size up, trying to figure out what all was going on.
It happened Wednesday morning on Marshfield Road and Highway 31 in Scott County.
About that time, that's whenever the car burst into flames. One of the ladies screamed, "Oh my God, the car's on fire."
On fire with people still inside.
The passenger door of the vehicle popped open and the passenger exited the vehicle, fell out of the car and started to stumble up the hill.
Watson is a reserve deputy with the Scott County Sheriff's Department, and his instincts told him that there was at least one other person still inside the burning car.
Got to the driver's door of the vehicle, popped it open, noticed that the driver was still sitting in the car in his seatbelt.
Watson pulled the driver out, but by then realized the smoke and flames were not his only problems.
Started up the hill before I realized that I couldn't go much farther.
But by then,
James came up and told me, let's turn the truck around and go back and help.
Help was on the way.
But there was so much fire close to the car that we knew we just had to get down there and help him.
James Toller and Tim Klein work for the city of Scottsburg.
There's no way we could sit there and watch anything like that happen.
And despite the smoke, flames, and heel, they joined the rescue.
James and I was side by side, and we both just went over the guardrail.
We didn't realize how tough it was till we started coming up the hill, and then we realized this is dead weight.
After getting the driver and passenger to safety, the men realized this was a close call.
The car was starting to explode. The tire exploded. The flames was getting fairly intense.
Both people inside the car were taken to the hospital by ambulance, and the men who pulled them out hope to get an update soon. In Scott County, I'm Stefan Johnson, WDRB News.
Greenland may seem far away from the rest of the world, but what's happening in the Arctic impacts people around the globe. CNN's Clarissa Ward travels to Greenland to see firsthand how climate change is impacting the region.
Imagine a world where you can sail right up to the North Pole, where the the largest ice sheet in the northern hemisphere is simply melting away.
The melt is winning this game.
We've now broken all-time records for 3 consecutive years.
As oceans continue to rise, flooding the streets of American cities half a world away.
What happens in the Arctic doesn't stay in the Arctic.
Imagine a world where hurricanes and heat waves wreak havoc.
All right, breaking news as Hurricane Irma continues to show no mercy.
Just a hellstorm. The fire just whipped.
Or politicians deny the problem as temperatures continue to rise.
It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
Greenland is an epicenter for climate change.
What if I told you this is already happening, right here, right now? That we are the primary cause, and that only we have the power to stop it. This is Greenland. Though you will find very little greenery here, home to some of the most stunning wildlife on the planet, the world's largest island is more than 80% made up of pure ice.
It's only from the air that you really get a sense of the scale and the enormity of this ice sheet. And what's just staggering to imagine is that in the center of the island, this ice is 2 miles thick.
It looks as though time has stood still for thousands of years. But this environment reflects the big changes in our world's atmosphere. As the planet gets warmer, the Arctic is heating up at double the rate, and Greenland in particular is warming even faster. Jason Box is an American climate scientist who has been coming to this remote corner of the world for more than 20 years.
The amount of water that's produced all across this landscape has increased, like doubled in the last 50 years.
Doubled in the last 50 years.
Everywhere you go in Greenland, you can see and hear the ice sheet melting. Sometimes a drip, sometimes a roar. Its surface is etched with fast-flowing rivers that carry the meltwater deep down to the bed.
This water cascades down thousands of feet and eventually makes its way to the bed. And it's heating the bed of the ice sheet. Everything's kind of stacking up that the ice is going faster than forecast.
And no sign of slowing down.
The melt is winning this game.
And the more Greenland melts, the more it speeds up the melting process. Take the large melt lakes that are forming on top of the ice sheet. Stunning to look at, but bad news for the ice.
For more on the weather here, let's head over to Mason Devers.
Thanks, Rachel. Let's go ahead and take a look at your current national temperatures. Out west in Seattle, we've got 45, and in Los Angeles, 68, Denver, 55. Down in Dallas, it's going to be 67. Moving to the northeast in New York, we've got 54, Chicago at 50, and down in the south, Atlanta at 64. Today's highs in Clarksville, 59, Nashville, 62, out west in Memphis, 62 as well. And then over on the Cumberland Plateau, we're going to have 60 in Knoxville and 63 in Chattanooga. Tonight here in Clarksville, we're going to get down to a chilly 35, about 4 degrees warmer in Nashville at 39, down in Memphis, 40, and back over at the Plateau, 43 in Knoxville and 44 in Chattanooga. The current here is a sunny 57 degrees with winds coming out of the north-northeast at 4 miles an hour. And tonight's temperature, the low is going to be 35 with winds coming out of the northeast at 3 miles an hour. Looking ahead to your 5-day forecast, we're going to continue the warming trend this weekend with a high of 59 today, a high of 62 tomorrow, lows of 35 and 36. We're going to finish out the weekend with a sunny day at high of 61 and a low of 44. Starting next week, we're going to have a high of 67 on Monday and a low of 46. And Tuesday morning, expect some showers, so make sure on your way to class or work, have an umbrella handy. We're going to have a high of 50 and a low of 36. Still ahead, I will have your political corner, and Ben Goodman tells us what's happening in the world of sports. APSU-TV News, we'll be right back.
Are you prepared for life outside of college?
Probably not yet.
Austin Peay's Career Services is there to help you transition to post-grad life.
I've had some friends use Career Services, but I've never used it myself.
Whether you need assistance finding a major or preparing for your future career, this free service has all of the tools to guide you.
We try to equip students and alumni with the tools that they need to go through that job searching process.
They built their resume, and it gave like complete relief off of me because I was able to walk out of there and be confident in my next interview.
The entire reason of going to college is so that you can actually get a job. So those resources that are available to you in career services are second to none on campus. It's the best place to go to.
Stop by room 210 in the Morgan University Center or visit www.apsu.edu/careers. Take the first step into your future today.
Every year we lose 400 people to carbon monoxide poisoning. 170 of these incidents are from non-automotive consumer products.
Poisoning can help to be prevented by installing a CO device in your home, having your appliances serviced by a qualified technician, even having your mechanic regularly touch up on your exhaust systems. Never have your vehicle running in a garage that is connected to a home, or have the garage door closed.
Welcome back to today's Political Corner. I'm Mason Devers. After weeks of sexual misconduct allegations and stories about politicians settling harassment claims with taxpayer money, several lawmakers are putting a stop to it. On Wednesday, House lawmakers introduced legislation to ban the use of taxpayer dollars to set up so-called shush funds. Named the Congressional Accountability and Hush Fund Elimination Act, it prohibits the future use of taxpayer money to pay sexual harassment and assault claims against any member of Congress or their staff. The bill would also require any member of Congress who has ever been named in a sexual misconduct settlement that's been paid for by taxpayers to reimburse the U.S. Treasury with interest. Recent disclosures have detailed payouts of more than $17 million. Well, speaking of Congress, they have exactly 1 week to pass legislation in order to avoid a government shutdown. On Tuesday, President Trump sat between two empty chairs as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi pulled out of a meeting at the White House with the President and Republican congressional leaders. Quote, "It's disappointing that Senator Schumer and Leader Pelosi are refusing to come to the table and discuss urgent issues," end quote, said White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. Schumer and Pelosi followed up with a joint statement in which they said they'd rather negotiate alone with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan. The last government shutdown occurred in 2013 and lasted for 16 days. Now, moving on to something a little merrier, with just a little over 3 weeks till Christmas, last night President Trump and First Lady Melania lit the national Christmas tree for the first time. President Trump wished the country a, quote, "Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and unbelievable holidays." This year marked the 95th annual National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony. The tradition began in 1923 with President Calvin Coolidge and takes place in President's Park just south of the White House. Well, that is all for today's Political Corner. Back over to Brandon.
Thanks, Mason. A Wisconsin woman born the same year the Green Bay Packers NFL team was founded is still going strong as a superfan. 98-year-old Ida Motif has gone to countless games as a season ticket holder, estimating at least 100 games. Now she watches from her assisted living facility and has given her season tickets to her family to continue the love of football. Ida Motif, Packer superfan, says this, quote, "All my life I've liked football. My brother played football, and that's why I really got it. And just all the sports I really like, football the best." Well, let's toss it over to Ben Goodman for a look at your Gov Sports update. Ben?
Woo! Wow, I actually caught that. A lot has happened for the Govs since we last were on the air, so let's jump into it, starting with the football team. The big question was, after their win against EIU, would they get into the FCS playoffs? The answer to that is sadly no. It was revealed the next morning during the selection show that Austin Peay was one of the first two teams out. Fans and other analysts around the country were outraged that the Govs didn't enter the playoffs with their outstanding 8-4 record. Head coach Will Healy released an open letter to the public stating his feelings about it, giving nothing but praise to his team and all that they accomplished. We congratulate the team on their amazing season and wish the best of luck for the 2018 Govs football team. Another team that could be tournament bound is the volleyball team. Would they punch their ticket to the big dance? They sure would. After hosting the OVC tournament November 16th through the 18th, The Govs would defeat SEMO in 3 sets, EKU, one of only 2 teams in the conference to beat the Govs in 4 sets, and finally rival Murray State in a nail-biting 5. The Govs finished the regular season and conference tournament at a program record 30 wins, 5 losses. Sunday night it was revealed on ESPNU that the Governors will be playing in Los Angeles against the number 15 seeded UCLA Bruins. We hope you're ready to stay up and cheer on your Govs because start time for this game is at 10 p.m. Central. Good luck to Coach Taylor Mott and the rest of the team on your game tonight. Back into the Dunn Center where the basketball season is heating up for Austin Peay. Sunday afternoon, the men hosted the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. The Govs would make their presence known by outscoring Miami 51-29 in the first half. Freshman Dayton Gum led the night, scoring 23 of the Govs' 86 points in their 86-61 final. Wednesday night, the Govs traveled west to Stillwater for their contest against Oklahoma State. They would give a valiant effort in their contest against the Cowboys, but ultimately would fall 79-63 to the Big 12 powerhouse. The Govs return to the Dunn tomorrow afternoon to take on Alabama A&M at 3:30. For women's basketball, nothing could go wrong for the team as they welcomed Arkansas Pine Bluff to Clarksville. Freshman guard Brianna Furby led the team in scoring with 17 points in their 97-61 final against the Golden Lions. With the win last night, this would be the first time the women would have scored above 90 points since last year's win to Tennessee Tech. The Govs are also on a 5-game winning streak, the first time since 2010 and 2011. The Govs will now play host to Evansville tomorrow at 1, and both these basketball games can be seen on the OVC Digital Network and heard on 104.1 ESPN Clarksville. That's all for sports. We hope you have a happy holiday season and wish our students the best of luck on their finals. Coming up, we'll have today's Health Minute, and have you ever seen a swole Santa? You won't want to miss this week's Take a Look at This. APSU-TV News will be right back.
The honors program at Austin Peay started. There was a group of professors who thought, what are we doing for our strongest students? And since then, the program has changed and grown with the university, and now we have over 300 students who are in the program. It's open to students of all majors.
I wanted something that would set me apart from other pre-med students, so I thought the honor program would help me with that. It's pretty easy to make friends here because everyone here is focused on school because they're in the honors program, so they want to get something out of school. And it's just a nice place to come to study. In the classrooms, they will be asked to stand on their tiptoes, is what we say. But the classes are more interesting. They move along a little faster. It's a place where those students can congregate to study, so I think students are better prepared for careers and for life in general through that academic curriculum.
Welcome back. Dramatic new video of North Korea's new ICBM was shown on state television Thursday, giving the world a glimpse into the Hermit Kingdom's most advanced and powerful missile to date. The footage shows leader Kim Jong-un personally supervised the preparations and launch of the missile. State media called it a, quote, gift package for President Trump and referred to the U.S. leader as an, quote, old lunatic. President Trump responded by warning there may be, quote, additional major sanctions and called Kim Jong-un, quote, a sick puppy. CNN's Will Ripley has more.
New images of North Korea's massive new intercontinental ballistic missile, the Hwasong-15. Kim Jong-un, who stands 5'7", dwarfed by the 18-wheeler Transporter Erector launcher. North Korean television broadcasting a slick, highly produced video of the overnight launch, a dramatic, menacing sight intended to intimidate. North Korea pushing President Trump closer than ever to the most agonizing foreign policy choice facing his administration. Try to stop Kim Jong-un's menacing nuclear advance with maximum pressure or military muscle. The Hwasong-15 blasted through the Earth's upper atmosphere, 10 times higher than the International Space Station. theoretically putting within striking range the entire U.S. East Coast, including New York and Washington. North Korea boasting. Kim Jong-un declared with pride that now we have finally realized the great historic cause of completing the state nuclear force. Also claiming the 23rd missile test of the Trump presidency reconfirmed the safety of the warhead in the atmospheric re-entry environment.
It is a situation that we will handle.
President Trump tweeted Thursday, the Chinese envoy who just returned from North Korea seems to have had no impact on Little Rocket Man. Hard to believe his people and the military put up with living in such horrible conditions. Russia and China condemned the launch. But China's leader giving no indication he's willing to take any actions that would destabilize Kim Jong-un's government, recently sending a special envoy and even a gift to the North Korean leader. A North Korean official telling CNN diplomacy with the U.S. is off the table for now, until Pyongyang fully demonstrates its nuclear capabilities, including a possible above-ground thermonuclear test.
Mr. Reed, thank you so much.
A threat first made by North Korea's foreign minister in September, reiterated by a senior diplomat in Pyongyang last month.
Should the world prepare for North Korea to detonate a nuclear device above ground?
The foreign minister is very well aware of the intentions of our supreme leader, so I think you should take his words literally.
Analysts have accused North Korea of bluster, saying the nation risks absolute destruction if it goes to war with the U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham telling CNN's Wolf Blitzer this.
We have to go to war to stop this, we will.
Each provocation pushes Trump closer to one of the most critical presidential decisions since the end of World War II. Accept North Korea as a nuclear power or take action that risks triggering a military conflict with potentially unthinkable consequences. Will Ripley, CNN, Seoul.
The president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, says CNN's revelations of a slave auction in Libya show modern-day barbarism that is both disgraceful and shameful. Speaking to CNN on the sidelines of an African Union-European Union summit in Ivory Coast on Thursday, Akufo-Addo strongly commended the slave trade.
We have to find a way of sanctioning states that undertake who permit such things to happen. It is completely unacceptable. Yes, these are people, perhaps in your country illegally, trying to get across to Europe. You've caught them. Send them back. Send them back. That's what you. But not to send them through that kind of experience is disgraceful. It's shameful, and I think that the denunciation of it from us on the continent has not been as strong as it should be.
Akufo-Addo, the slave trade affects the entire continent.
Now in today's Health Minute, millions of Americans have trouble falling asleep and staying asleep every day. If you're one of those millions of people, CNN's Reed Bynum has some tips for treating insomnia in today's Health Minute.
Are you having trouble sleeping? If you are, you may be one of the estimated 50 to 70 million American adults who suffer from a sleep and wakefulness disorder. The most common is insomnia, where a person fails to initiate or maintain sleep. This may also take the form of waking up too soon, in which an individual wakes up several hours before they should and can't get back to sleep. The Center for Disease Control suggests 7 or more hours of sleep for adults between the ages of 18 and 60 years old. If you don't, it could affect your overall health. Here are some things you can do to improve your sleep health. Be consistent. Go to bed at the same time each day and get up at the same time too. Make sure your bedroom is cozy, quiet, and dark. Turn those smartphones, tablets, and TVs off. If you need a little white noise, try a fan. And avoid caffeine before bedtime. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
Santa from Oregon is more North Swole than North Pole. Big Bad Santa is coming to town. CNN's Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
You'd better watch out. This Santa's been pumping iron. A lot. Albie Mushaney is a competitive weightlifter from Salem, Oregon. He goes by Big Bad Santa and has gained quite a following. His YouTube fitness videos have been profiled by ESPN and Men's Fitness. He's also launched a charity initiative called Operation Big Bad Santa. It's a program that raises money to buy Christmas presents for children of wounded veterans. In December, he's taking his jolly and jacked approach to fitness to North Carolina. He'll be competing there for the world's Strongest Man Masters title. That is one swole Santa. NASA is reinventing the wheel, literally. Engineers have created a woven mesh metal tire that can remember its shape. It can roll over severely rigid objects and spring back to form immediately. It was born out of necessity after the Curiosity rover's wheels took a beating on Mars. So what's the secret? Engineers say the nickel titanium alloy mesh, which is 30 times more resilient than other test material, doesn't just stretch, it does a complete atomic rearrangement. This allows it to endure severe punishment before returning to its original shape. Yeah, science. The new tires have plenty more tests ahead, but NASA could be ready to roll them out for a Mars mission in 2024. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, it's been another wonderful semester here for APSU-TV News, and I regret to inform you that we have 3 leaving this semester. Ben Goodman on sports, taking a leave. Mason Devers is going to be interning in D.C. next semester. And Amber Kent is graduating, our lovely producer. She's been on this for a very long time, since our last producer, which would make sense.
She's actually, she actually has a job lined up for her too, producing over in East Tennessee.
Johnson City.
It's just beginning for the legendary Amber Kent.
We've only just begun.
Any last words? You can speak into this mic here.
Nah, I'm excited to move on.
Okay, well.
Awesome.
That's all right then, I guess.
On that note.
I'm sure we can all thank Amber for all the lovely work she's done here as producer.
She's here very early at like 7 to get all of this ready to go.
Probably
and she
before
does,
7.
Before 7. She does this every single week. Yeah. And so not enough thanks can be given to Miss Kent. So
thanks, guys.
Godspeed, and we wish you the best.
Thank you, Amber.
So are you guys ready for Christmas? It's December 1st.
Yeah, I see your tie. You're ready for that.
I'm repping. I'm ready. Been listening to Christmas for about a month. Christmas music for about a month now. So.
Christmas is great.
Yeah.
I love Christmas.
We can't wait to see you back here in the spring semester 2018. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to join us in the interaction by liking us on Facebook and Instagram at APSU-TV.
Thanks for watching another edition of your Govs News Weekend Update.
And as always,
let's go Peay!